I think this is going to be really good, guys. Shame that we had a 3-0 after back-to-back 3-2s, but it was a surprising 3-0. So we'll take it. It's okay. We can't always be perfect. I still think it was a fun series. We saw some really cool stuff. I'm not upset over it, and I know that BattleB can do better, and we'll definitely give him another shot. It is all good. Reynor is ready. SKillous is ready. As Reynor hits us with the good luck, have fun, Nikita. May the best Dutch player win. And Nikita is not in the mood to banter. Or does not have enough time. The two ex-roommates, guys. These two guys lived together in the same place in Zoetermeer, the Netherlands, for a year and a half. They have gone separate ways ever since. SKillous found a new place in the Netherlands. Reynor went to Korea for a while, is back in Italy now. And obviously both players playing a lot of Starcraft. It's a rematch of the grand finals of the European Pro Tour Weekly last Monday. That one was one-sided. I don't think this one will be.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go. Oceanborn is going to be our opening map for the grand finals, or the main event of another edition of the Big Brain Bouts. 66 weeks, guys, of Big Brain Bouts, and then we also had the very special 25-year StarCraft Anniversary Edition. In the bottom right side, it is Team Liquid's SKillous, aka Nikita. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who has looked damn good in the last few things. We saw him back-to-back victories on the Monday night. Did have a rough best of 3 last Wednesday against Trap, but that was obviously played on the American server with some ping involved. If we forget about that best of 3, this boy has been amazing in everything that he's been playing lately. It is BASILISK Reynor. The Italian stallion is heating up as he's going to try to defend his title in the desert. Even though the branding is different. Last year it was Gamers 8, now it's Esports World Cup. But it still kind of feels like we are going back to the place where Reynor won the biggest tournament of his career last summer. And potentially the best Reynor we've ever seen. Even though he won Katowice, he won DreamHack, he won Home Story Cups. I think the Reynor we saw at Gamers 8 last year, that Reynor gives me goosebumps because he was so fucking good. Pardon my French, but there's no other way to put it. Let's see. Let's see what we get today. Adapts and Oracles, probably. SKillous is a man who can kind of do it both. He can obviously be very aggressive with Oracles and Blinkstalkers. In the past, he used to like to get a Gateway and a Python out on the map and be in the face of his opponents with Blinkstalker aggression all the time. These days, I feel like he's a bit more macro-oriented, strong believer of the Immortals and the Storm and trying to take it to the late game. Preparing to lose all my ruddy bucks. 1.2 million points wagered on Reynor. SKillous is, I think, really in excellent shape. I would honestly say that I think this is the best SKillous that we've ever seen. And the kid has been around for a little while. He's had his ups and downs throughout his career, but over the last few months, SKillous really has been leveling up. I think it's going to be a banger. I believe it's a banger. And this is also a series that it's not all me who set this up. I proposed it to SKillous, but he was game immediately. He wanted revenge for that best of 5 last Monday, as Reynor gets a surround on the second adept. That is not the start that SKillous is looking for. Reynor kills an adept without losing anything. And that is rough, because 2 adepts always have potential to find damage. 1 adept, it's a whole lot less likely. That means Reynor has double the time to react to anything. Strong start by Reynor. SKillous is going to be kicking himself a little bit for that. Going for the hero wall. Pylon exposed. We'll get a gateway in front of it a little bit later to actually make this a much safer wall. I guess it is safe. There are some moments where if you put your unit right on the corner, it cannot actually properly wall off. Oracle on the other side of the map activates Pulsar Beam. Reynor morphs back-to-back drones into Spore Crawlers. And that just means that only a single drone has gone down. SKillous used a lot of energy, took a lot of damage. Reynor is looking sharp. A Robo and a Forge on the way. SKillous is getting a few more basic adepts. I'm not expecting anything like Resident Enclave Adept. I think it's too late. They've made too many oracles for that. Double Robo, so very quick double Robos. This oracle is flying in the middle of all these queens. It might barely live. It will barely live, but this is obviously not the kind of stuff that SKillous is looking for. Last month, no, you gotta be so careful there, mate. Will he at least be able to kill this drone? Activates Pulsar Beam, but Reynor's drone morphs into a hatch. In game 1, a lot of the little things all going in favor of Reynor. But what SKillous does have is mega quick double Robo. And this is not something that Reynor is aware of. It does not look like Reynor wants to play something like a Spire. And running a lot of Roaches and Ravages into double Robo is going to be hard. The Queens, man. The Queens are just always where they are supposed to be. And that is also when you know that Reynor has been playing a lot of video games and he is in top shape. And Zerglings will try to get into the natural. There's no opening there. SKillous is not able to find anything. But the good news for SKillous is that at least all 3 oracles are still alive. They may not have done a whole lot yet, but at least they're still alive, unlike that Golden Aura game. Reynor going up to 4 bases, Overlord speed on the way. Last Monday they did have a very close and competitive game on Crimson Court that could have gone Reynor's way. Oh, excuse me, could have gone SKillous' way. In the end it was barely Reynor who got the best of SKillous with a bunch of chaos. He does drop a Spire now, and it is a really good moment to drop a Spire. Because it was a double Robo opening on the side of Nikita. Will there be a replay pack? No, we don't do replay packs for Big Brain Bouts. But if anybody ever really wants replays, all you have to do is ask me in my Discord. And if I'm not busy and if I'm not away from the computer, I will always just give them. But it's not something we normally post. But if you guys want replays, I can just select them and dump them in the Discord. It's okay. But I would have to ask the players, because they are used to these replays not being shared. And obviously they know that people can watch the VOD and whatnot, but in the replays there is still slightly more information available than in the VOD. So I would have to ask permission from the players. Then 11 Mutalisks get fired up. SKillous dropped the revelation. He did see this building, and by the looks of it, he immediately saw that it is a Spire. As he's going to build up his first Phoenix, it is really hard to deal with a rich Zerg that's pumping out as many Mutas as humanly possible. And all you can do is build 1 Phoenix at a time. It is funny to see Reynor play Spire, because the last few times we saw him in the chat and he saw Zergs play Spire, he said, I think Spire is bait. Spire sucks. Well, he's still gonna go for it here. The Mutas are making their way over. We've got only 4 Stalkers, 1 Phoenix, 2 Archons, but obviously near shield batteries, all these Protoss units are 3 times as good. On the ground, the SKillous has got a very powerful army. Reynor is gonna try to find some damage. Can he battle 4 Stalkers and a Phoenix? Kinda think he could. Seems like he doesn't want to yet. Every second that goes by right now and SKillous does not take any damage is a great second for SKillous. But this is where Reynor does find a surround on a couple of these Stalkers. Shield battery overcharge got activated here. Cannon is going to be healed up for a little while. One of the Phoenixes does get picked off, and Oracle gets picked off too. But it's a lot of Zerglings that died. I believe it's a couple Mutalisks as well. Yeah, -3 Mutas so far. SKillous blinks back that Stalker. SKillous just needs a bit more anti-air. At the moment he does not have enough anti-air. What he does have is cannons. Archons are slow. Seems like Reynor has found an opening for a couple of Zerglings to get into the main base. And now it's not just Mutas in the main. It is Zerglings and Mutalisks at once. Stalkers get surrounded. These Stalkers will fall. And this is the first time where Reynor is not just finding a little bit of damage, but he's finding great damage. That is a bad spot to warp in a couple Stalkers. as the Stalkers get picked off immediately. The final 3 Stalkers can't really put up a fight. We've got Phoenixes coming in from every angle. And this is what I mentioned, no matter how good Phoenix are against Mutas, if it's the Zerg that is this rich, that is this aggressive like Reynor, and you can only build 1 Phoenix at a time, it is so difficult. I think what we really needed was an Archon in the main, in the natural. Maybe a War Prism to juggle the Archons back and forth. SKillous, by the way, is just sending it on the other side of the map with a bit of an ambitious army. There's not a lot of anti-air in that army. There's 1 Archon trailing, 1 Archon is leading the charge, but that first Archon is already taking a bad fight. SKillous will immediately recall, saves the Immortals, loses the 2 Archons. Zerglings completely ravaging the 3rd. Reynor is all over SKillous here in game 1. Hive tech is done. We don't quite have a Adrenal Glands yet, but that gets fired up immediately. Reynor is playing like he means business. These High Templars were not Archons yet. And a few cannons just simply not good enough. A battery not good enough. A few more Stalkers to get walked in. The Stalkers have +2, which means they're a little bit better. The meter count is high. It is really high. That's a lot of meters that Reynor is losing. But Reynor is fighting so much damage, not just with the Mutalisk, with the Zerglings too. As he's attacking the 4th, attacking the 3rd, getting into the natural once more. Do we have a cannon in the main? Yes, we do. Okay. SKillous fights back, but he's been taking a severe economic beating. The only thing that the man still really has that probably sparks a lot of joy are 6 Immortals. But what are 6 Immortals going to do against a Zerg with 20 Mutalisk and mostly Zerglings? It's not often that it's a bad day to be an Immortal, but this is kind of one of them. Aren't you supposed to drop a Fleet Beacon and 2nd Stargate when you drop a Spire? So some Protoss players are worried that they overreact. If it's just like 7-8 Mutas and then you go Fleet Beacon, the 2nd Stargate, that you get a bunch of Phoenix but then you lose on the ground. Maybe SKillous also felt it was just a little bit too late for that. And what he hoped for is that he could stabilize with Blink Stalkers and Archons and Cannons and Batteries. But Reynor says there is no stabilizing here. You do always need to be careful, obviously, with such a fragile comp. The amount of workers that have gone down in the first 12 minutes of this game is just silly. 53 probes have died and only a single drone. 1 single drone, and everywhere we look it feels like the Zerglings are right where they need to be. The Mutas, it feels like they've got tactical jumpers. They are always right where they need to be. And SKillous can't possibly keep this up. GG. Reynor comes out, guns blazing. Mighty strong, mighty fast, mighty powerful in game 1. I think great job realizing that this is a double robo opening. Even if he didn't necessarily get the confirmation scout that it was. This is not his first rodeo. It's not the first time he plays against SKillous. He knows that SKillous is a big fan of just kind of sitting there, getting a very high immortal count out. And running Roaches, Ravagers, Lynx, Banes, whatever into double robo immortal Archon, Stalker, Cannon Battery is very difficult. Well, obviously going for a Mutalisk and taking advantage of the fact that that army is a little immobile is one way to take care of it. So the man who said just a couple days ago, actually it was a week ago in the WTO Codas, when we were watching Solar play, he said Mutas are bait. Goes for the Mutas on Oceanborn and extends the win streak to 4. It's funny how I feel almost every Zerg out there seems to be really struggling with Protoss, but Reynor looks mega fine against Protoss. Even if he had a few series here and there, especially the cross-server series where he did look beatable, I feel like the last few weeks, whenever I see him play against the Protoss and no ping is involved, he looks so good. Even if it's not easy, he looks so good.
Round 2, fight!
Top right side of goes the river. We are looking at the main base of a Russian Protoss living in the Netherlands, down 0-1. I'm sure that he also knows where that went wrong. And a couple of poor warp-ins. Like, there is something about Stalkers, or any Protoss unit for that matter, that if you warp them in, shield batteries don't heal them. So you have to actually be kind of careful of where you warp in certain units, because warping in 6 Stalkers underneath Mutalisk, even if you've got a cannon and a battery there, that's not good enough, because they will die immediately. Battery can only start healing once the units are done. I think there were definitely 1 or 2 poor warping choices there. Top right side, down 01. The former roommate. It is SKillous, representing Team Liquid. We'll also be playing for Team Liquid on Sunday against Vitality in that WTO Code S match. And that is one that you don't want to miss. I know that we've got Stormgate this weekend, guys, with the Tasteless Land, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are very excited. But Sunday, 4 PM, Vitality versus Team Liquid is going to be a banger in WTO, and a very important one. In the top left side, this man, I think is pretty much done right now with official games before the Esports World Cup. I don't think he's going to play the weekly on Monday. This could very well be the last thing that we see of him before we all go to Saudi once more. Representing BASILISK, it is Reynor. I think most players will probably fly out on the 11th or the 12th. I think originally I was supposed to fly out on the 12th, but there's actually something else happening on the 12th that I will be a part of. So we were going to fly out on the 11th instead. Minimum mudas for a ball that will kill probes on bounce in one shot. I've got absolutely no idea, Jack. That is not something that I can guarantee you even Reynor knows. I mean, we literally asked Reynor how much HP does a Zergling have, and he didn't know. It's just kind of, you know what are good fights to take, what are bad fights to take. You always go for the opening. There is not exactly a critical number of mudas that you aim for. Then on top of that, you have to keep shield upgrades into consideration, armor like plasma shields, shield batteries maybe, other units that are nearby that can soak up the bouncing glaive. So those are not exactly things that anybody has an answer to. 7 mudas is a one shot, but when it comes to the bouncing glaive, I've got no idea. Hello, Jess. I just saw your message, Jess, but I had no time to answer yet. I'll think about it. I honestly have incredibly little time. I feel like all my days are busy, long. I've honestly spent too much time behind a PC. Normally I would always say yes, but this is a bit of a rough month for me. But we will see. I'll get back to you. No, Ravinus. Vicky is not going. Vicky has joined me for TwitchCons. He has joined me for Home Story Cup. He has gone to Katowice as well, but obviously there's a little point to join me there. I mean, maybe one day, but not right now. He's also planning on going to Bulgaria for the Stara Zugara tournament, so that's kind of enough trips. Don't be too weird, Pistor. I like jokes, mate, but you're making it a bit too weird, mate. Never says he doesn't want to go as he jokes. It's just, guys, like, that kind of stuff costs money, and I don't know if you guys think that we can just casually fly around the world 24/7. You have to pick your battles. There are some places where you really want to go, some places are lower on the priority. It's not that she doesn't want to go, but the lady also has a job. She can't just take off work 24/7 to travel with her men to Starcraft tournaments for fun. It's not about any of that. They absolutely do, MC Mark. It is definitely the best payday of the year, and nothing comes close to it. It's not that we're flying to Vegas first class right after the event and we don't have to do anything anymore, but obviously it's very good. Without prize pools went to the commentators. Nothing to complain about, guys, but no. We're not quite gonna walk away with first, second, third, or fourth place prize money. I think that's kind of obvious. But it's still very good. Better opening, I think, this time around for SKillous, guys. Hasn't lost a unit yet. It did not lose one of his adepts early. Oracles found a bit of opening. Forced drones to move. Ghost River is a map that I feel Reynor pretty much always ends up playing in a best of one or in a best, in a best of 3 or best of 5. He doesn't play a lot of best of ones. I feel like it doesn't go his way very often. We've got +1 melee as an opening. Gives me the feeling that Reynor is obviously expecting SKillous to just be hyper aggressive with the Blink Stalkers after the Oracle opening. But that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case. Last game we had very quick double robo, later blink. This game we've got very quick blink, but still double robo as a follow-up. Hello, Bike Rush. Thank you, Athil matey, for the 38 months. I really appreciate it. As oracles fly deep into the main, activate Pulsar Beam. I like this start for SKillous, guys. Definitely a better game for the young man who's been living in the Netherlands for the last 2.5 years against his old roommate. Storm on the way as well. Kinda curious where Reynor is gonna take this. The problem as well is that like Oceanborn is a bit more spread out. There is more potential for Reynor to find those run-bys, find damage, get value out of the fact that he's so fast. I feel like in Ghost River, Reynor is like a little bit handcuffed in that way. You can try, but you can only try the same 2 spots over and over again. Still finds the pylon because he's Reynor and he will keep on trying, but it's not quite as dramatic as it was on Oceanborn, where you can get deep into a mineral line, get on top of 20 workers, run-bys. Always it's a bit easier to see them coming here as well, because obviously as long as these rocks are here, Reynor can only get up this ramp or walk past the third, and then it's super easy to react. Double Oracle is gonna fly to the bottom left side. I think if there's enough energy on these Oracles to get a cancel. Honestly, there's enough energy on these Oracles to get a cancel, but it seems that SKillous does not want to waste it. What do we got here? Just Zerglings. Reynor now attacking the natural with not just Zerglings anymore, a couple Hydras as well. High Templars all by themselves need to be very, very careful, but what a save by SKillous. Saves all 4 High Templars as he lands the storm. He did lose his cybernetics core, and I hope he's aware of that, because Blink Stalkers are important, and at the moment he can only make slow Zealots. So Cyber Core is dead. We're gonna have to rebuild that Cyber Core. It's taking a little while in that regard. He must have realized, no? Well, we're just gonna wipe in more Zealots and High Templars. I mean, it's okay. He's got a powerful army. He's got Storm. He's got Immortals. He's got Archons now, a couple Oracles. I'd still love to see him rebuild his Cyber Core, as he finds Queens that are a little bit exposed in the center of the map. Reynor has made it up to Hive, but the lurker count is not quite there yet. Hydras by themselves can't really win these fights. Reynor was looking for a surround, but there is no surround to be found. Now rebuilding the Cyber Core. Seismic Spines on the way for the lurkers. That is their first upgrade. They're still gonna have to get Adaptive Talents as well. Oracles fly kind of overall. The Queens, one of them dies immediately. You really don't want to lose these Oracles for nothing, as the Zerglings are gonna try to get on top of the High Templars. That does not quite work. Reynor has another run by, but apparently they ran into a stasis trap. We've got Zealots in the bottom left side getting on top of the hatchery, and we've got 1 or 2 Zealots storming into the 4th base. While the 2 big armies are still dangerously close to each other. SKillous needs to be a tiny bit careful. Definitely a stronger game by SKillous, but he's not there yet. Fleet Beacon gets dropped. I believe it's still single Stargate. We don't have any air upgrades yet, because obviously SKillous lost the Cybernetics core a while ago. A very early storm to keep the Zerg army at bay. Reynor right now with 13 lurkers. Immortals have +2. That obviously makes them a bit more powerful. 2 extra Stargates going down. Again, Reynor. I mean, Reynor's doing a good job in baiting out storms. SKillous needs to make sure that he's not too trigger happy, spamming storms forever to keep this Zerg army at bay. As it's not just Zerglings anymore, now it's Zerglings and 8 lurkers as well, and that is going to be difficult to deal with. How many observers do we have? 2 observers. We are going to go for the recall. That might become painful, right? Oh, those High Templars, guys. Oh, no. I mean, sure, we're going to get the... Well, can we get the lurkers? Yes, we can. I don't know about the recall. Felt like that was not it. No, good news for SKillous is that he did leave a few Immortals behind in his natural, and he's got a few more storms to work with. But that was not the prettiest recall. Uh-oh. Reynor immediately making 9 more lurkers. Means we're up to 17 lurkers at this point. The overlords are gonna come as well. SKillous is trying to buy some time, maybe for Tempest, a few more Immortals as he is landing another storm. But guys, all the static defenses at the 4th base were taken care of. And Reynor and his Zerglings are looking feistier than ever before. If he gets on top of that Nexus, looking for a freebie on High Templars here. I mean, at this point, you can almost wonder, does Reynor still need to attack? He's a 6-base Zerg against a 3-base Protoss. Can't he just kind of contain SKillous and force SKillous to attack into him? Because as long as SKillous doesn't have that 4th base, what is he really going to do? And I think Reynor is aware of that too, so he's just going to keep the lurkers here. Maybe move them forward a little bit. He doesn't need to take a bad fight. Immortals are going to be exposed. And I just don't really see SKillous' army anymore. He's got 107 army supply. This doesn't really look like it. Is that a War Prism? Yeah. I think we just had a War Prism fly into the natural, but triple Spore Crawler waiting for it. As the lurkers are going to go forward, the Zerglings are going to try to get on top of these Immortals. All the barriers got activated. And it just feels that Reynor is too big, too powerful. A better game 2 by SKillous. But that recall was not it. The Zerglings are here, there, and fucking everywhere as that Nexus gets killed. A couple of High Templars are forced to run in range of all the spiky boys. That's not going to do it for SKillous. Even though he's got 3 Immortals left, we've got an Observer. But SKillous knows that he is dead. Even if he somehow gets out of that fight with 1 Tempest and 1 Immortal, he can never win that game against a Reynor. That's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases. Reynor is looking really, really good. Yeah, I mean, last Monday, SKillous played a stunning weekly and played fantastic games against BattleB. A legendary game on Golden Aura against Max Packs that I will absolutely try to post on YouTube, even though I have had too many things to do, so I haven't really gotten to it yet. But I've downloaded the VODs. Yeah, Reynor is just... even when SKillous is fresh and he had a couple of days to get ready, it seems that this Reynor is just an absolute animal. We are not there yet. Game 3 is going to be played on the Oceania, but Reynor just looks so fast and so good. Reynor actually requesting 3 minutes. If Reynor is requesting 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take a tiny break as well. I do want to let you guys know that later tonight for Europeans, or later today for, I guess, Americans, or in the evening as well, there is a Stormgate event happening over in Korea that is organized by Tasteless. So if you guys want to read more about it, Tasteless also allows all of us to co-stream it. We've got a bunch of fun players. Probe from Australia, we've got Theory, we've got Clem. Elaser is making the journey from Europe to Korea as well. Of course, Parting is there because Parting is a god in everything he touches. Migi, I'm not that familiar with. Nightmare, of course, we're very familiar with. And Kyrian is also known as Top. This should be happening, guys, in give or take 5.5 hours from now. So, yeah, if you guys are excited over Stormgate, if that's something you like, make sure to check it out. There's always a next time, Bike Rush. There's always a next time. I will do my best to be here in the middle of the night, but I can't promise that, of course, because I'm only human, and I feel like I've done a lot. We've already been live for 9 hours, but we will see what I can do. Now, if you guys are excited over the other RTS that I've been very excited over, I want you guys to know that we've got the YouTube channel where we've been uploading a couple of the best of 7s that we had a while ago that I casted together with Wadi. If you guys like Battle Aces, make sure to give my channel a follow, a subscription. That would make me very happy. Make Vicky happy too. We're at 61 at the moment. I think we can get up to 100. A little bit of love, guys, for Roddy and Vicky. I'm going to take a tiny break since Reynor is taking a break, and I'll see you guys real soon for Game 3. It could be the final game, but I hope it's not. I'm back for Game 3. It could be the final game of the night, even though we obviously always cheer for Reynor over here. I kind of hope it's not, because I would love to see at least 1 or 2 more games. SKillous is so damn good, and clearly he's making the games competitive. I think that second game was strong. It's just, I don't even know what you're supposed to do against this Reynor. When Reynor is playing like this, where do you start? What do you do? We're gonna see what SKillous has in mind on El Sione, as that could be our final map of the night, but hopefully we get a bonus game. If not, your esports action will continue in 6 hours. It's a different game, but obviously very exciting. The first ever offline event in Stormgate. I wish Tasteless and our Toasters all the fun, and I'll either be here watching it, or I'll just be watching it on my phone in bed. Maybe on the TV, we'll figure it out.
Round 3.
Fight!
In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of the man who's down 0-2. On Sunday, he will play a best of 2 against Maru, and that is also something that I'm incredibly excited over. But for now, we're gonna see if we can turn things around in the main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 66, brought to you guys by Basilisk. This is SKillous. If you guys want to play in the BBB, I think you guys know how to do it by now. But if not, you can always join my Discord, spam in the Big Brain channel, or just join the Basilisk Discord. If you guys do !! Basilisk Discord, you guys can join there. If you have any other questions to Basilisk, you can do it there too. Top right side of El Sione, we are looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion, who is gearing up and getting ready for that World Championship of Starcraft 2024. The Italian Stallion, Reynor. Looking damn good. Can't really put it any other way. It is such a night and day difference when Reynor is playing Starcraft all day, every day, or when he's just having a good time, partying with the boys, playing a bit of League of Legends and some Starcraft. And he's always good and he's always dangerous. But when he's in his grind mode, it's just silly. He's so good. And he's so ridiculously fast. It feels like such a nightmare to play against. Yeah, and that's also a tournament that he did really do his best for, Jugax. And that just goes to show that it does not always work out. Even for the very best players, it can't always go your way. It's not that Reynor didn't try when he went to Korea. He really did try, but yeah, sometimes you're a bit unlucky. The stars don't align. Things don't go your way. Will Sarah be in Saudi? Absolutely. Sarah will be there. I was just thinking about that today, like, in 2024, it feels like we've been very busy. We've had so many online tournaments. And we've had a couple of offline tournaments, some smaller ones. Kind of feels that we only had 2 really big ones, and that's Katowice and Atlanta. And Sarah won both. Will I be there? Well, technically we have to wait until ESL makes the final announcement. But we're getting incredibly close right now, that I feel pretty confident just saying like, yes, I'm gonna be there. And I'm sure there will be announcements soon. I'm not gonna answer which other commentators will be there, but us as commentators, StarCraft 2 commentators, have spoken to ESL about this in the past, where we're like, hey, we don't mind waiting for your announcement to say whether or not we're allowed to go to an event. But eventually you do have to let people on your stream know, or on your YouTube channel know, that you're gonna be gone for a while. And you can't necessarily wait until 2 days before the event starts. So, the Roddy stream, even though we've made a lot of hours lately, I think we made some really good progress towards that second Twitch statue. If they ever release more information about it. It's gonna be gone for a while. Now, according to my latest calculations, it's gonna take me another 32 years of streaming like this until I can get that second Twitch statue, but after a month like this, it may just be 30 years. So I'm telling you, the dream is very well alive. When is the next ESL? Technically, the Esports World Cup is an ESL tournament. It is part of the ESL Pro Tour. It is the grand finals of the ESL Pro Tour. And it's starting in less than 12 days. On the 14th of August, the games will start. SKillous is going to switch things up a little bit, as he says, you know what, playing ultra safe against Reynor is not doing it. Let's be a little crazier. Let's just shade in there, see what we can get done. This is not what you want to do with your Oracle, though. I didn't hate what we did with the Adepts. Obviously, that second Oracle taking real damage rather than just shield damage was a little bit silly. Trap's been looking really good too, by the way, Naniwa. I don't know if you saw anything of the Kung Fu Cup last Wednesday. But Trap literally beat Reynor, Beyond, and Classic. 2-1-2-0-2-0. Actually, a pretty reasonable run for a Protoss. Then he ran into... Was it Clem or Max Specs that he lost to? I think Max Specs. I think he took a map of Max Specs though. Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot of damage on an Oracle for a single drone, but at least we got a single drone. The leftover Oracle is showing up in the third, but this is kind of the difference, right, between Max Specs and SKillous, where Max Specs would have activated Pulsar Beam immediately and would have gone all over that middle line. SKillous waits a second or two. As Reynor fires up Overlord speed, builds a lot of roaches. I'm starting to feel like we're gonna get some aggression coming out of Reynor. SKillous is going for a Zealot charge and +1. He's got an Immortal on the way. He needs more static defenses. Because Reynor is not gonna play this like Jay. No offense, of course, Jay, but Reynor is not gonna be floating 1200 minerals when he's making this attack. And against a Reynor, you need to really have a couple cannons and batteries. You had a good series, mate, and I think it could have gone your way, but just floating a little too much on Ghost River. Reynor is gonna spend all his pennies and he's gonna throw everything he has at SKillous. And what Reynor does so well, guys, it's not just this attack. Look at the natural. SKillous all out focus right now on the third. It's an 8 Zergling drop in the natural, and this kind of stuff is so difficult to deal with. You're looking at an overwhelming amount of Zerg units in your face. Shield battery overcharge is good. It is incredibly good. That one battery, he needs to use this battery to heal up this battery. Don't lose your battery, SKillous. We need value out of that overcharge. We need value out of it 4 days. And honestly, it did one for the entirety of this battle. The Zerglings, it seems like they haven't killed crazy amount of workers yet. The SKillous somehow dealt with it. Is this a hold? Is this actually a hold for the ages? SKillous got 2 very healthy Immortals left. He's got a cannon online. He's got an Immortal. Ho ho ho! What a hold. What a hold. SKillous says we ain't done yet. And it really looked like the Reynor was just going to steamroll another Protoss there. But somehow SKillous dropped the best possible battery overcharge that ran for the entirety of that fight. Got extra cannons online. Dealt with the Zergling drop as well. Don't lose your Oracle. He does not. Wow. That is impressive. That is actually incredibly impressive by Nikita. Now Reynor not done yet, but obviously down 12 workers. He needs more, but it's going to be harder and harder because that Immortal count ain't dwindling. If anything, it is rising. We got a War Prism soon coming online as well. And it's starting to look like SKillous is so close to getting the job done. One Immortal is mega low on HP. Don't lose it to Corrosive Bow. He won't. More cannons and more batteries finishing up. That Dropper Lord is empty. Now there is a War Prism mix as well. They can do some juggling. That is insane. I did not think that SKillous was gonna hold that. Because there was so much Zerg in his face. It was an 8 link drop. And I thought even if he's going to hold, he's going to lose by losing 15 probes. He lost 1 probe! He lost 1 probe. Now Ravages do require slightly different battles than Roaches do. As we have battery overcharge once more. Second Immortal is going to fall. So this time he did lose 2 Immortals rather quickly. But it's just a matter of time, right, before SKillous can warp in 8 Zealots or something along those lines. He's even, guys, full of confidence, sending the War Prism with 4 Zealots to the other side of the map. Trying to get a cancel on the 4th base, but he missed it because Reynor is taking the gold. Reynor cannot deal with Zealots at home right now. Force fields are excellent on the side of Team Liquid SKillous. Apparently Reynor can deal with Zealots at home. I stand corrected. We've got another tiny link drop happening in the main base, but there is a cannon in this middle line too. That's gonna allow SKillous to buy some time. Reynor now fires up Roach speed, but it's gonna take a little while before that is done. Killing this many Archons and Immortals with Roach speed is not gonna be easy. Let's get a cancel on the 4th base, but sick hold by Nikita. Incredibly sick hold, and that makes me happy. Even if I don't want to cheer against Reynor ever, but it's nice to see a competitive series in the main event. And I felt Game 2 was close. Game 1 was kind of all Reynor, and Game 2 was close. And recall wasn't it. And game 3, SKillous pulls off a fantastic hold. And it should be his game at this point, even though he's just 3 bases. Reynor is 4 bases. And SKillous' army is powerful. He's got Immortals, he's got Archons, he's got Blink finishing up. +2 as well against a Zerg with no upgrades. Counting Reynor out is indeed a very silly thing to do, but I think I'm gonna agree with Naniwa here that not even Reynor can win this. His units are just not powerful enough. He is going to lose the gold base. This is risky, by the way, because force fields could become incredibly painful. There is one of those painful force fields. There's a couple of the Ravages are trapped on the wrong side. Reynor still being a nuisance. A couple of Zerglings at a time, but this time it's not going to be enough as the Zealots find an opening in the natural, in the main base. This Protoss army is a little too big to go through this choke point. Gym problems, guys, for the Protoss brothers. Too many bicep days in a row, and they can no longer fit through the gap. Gotta train the legs too, guys. Leg day matters. He's got Blink. Blink is done. It finished up right during this move out. Reynor battling, trying to make a miracle happen. Sometimes I do think back of that ridiculous game that he had against Zest in IM Katowice. Where, or was it Neep actually? I'm mostly thinking of Reynor against Neep, I think, where he just ran around with Ravages forever. And Ravages obviously interact slightly different with Protoss units than Roaches and Lynx do. It was one of the most bizarre victories I've ever seen, but I don't think it was against this many Blink Stalkers. I don't think it was against +3 while only working with +1. Reynor is a god, but even gods can bleed. A forward blink by SKillous. That does mean that he's gonna eat a couple of very big corrosive balls to the face. But his Stalkers, his Immortals, his Archons pack one hell of a punch. There's still a Warp Prism active in the main base, warping in more Zealots. Single Queen is not going to do it. Reynor tried to go for a counterattack, but there's another battery overcharge. And this Immortal, guys, with battery overcharge is going to win the fight against all these Roaches. Okay, maybe it's not that extreme, especially not when battery overcharge runs out. But obviously, SKillous, his main army, is still standing strong, going pretty. Could go for another forward blink. Will go for it. And like that, SKillous gets one on the board. What a hold. I mean, I don't want to delay the series. I don't want to delay the players, but that is the kind of hold that I would have loved to take another look at, because that was an insanely impressive defense at the third base. And he lost one probe. There were so many Roaches, Lynx, Queens, Ravages in his face, Lynx in the natural, and he lost one probe. This is where Reynor hits you with the 5 minutes ... very tough games. Nah. Reynor is not the kind of guy to take multiple breaks in a series. He'll take one break from time to time if he feels like he needs it. And if his opponent takes a break, he'll take a break. But I don't think I've ever seen Reynor request multiple breaks in a single series. Awesome stuff by SKillous. And that makes me happy because he's played so good lately. And it'd be very sad if we get 3-0'd by Reynor twice on Monday and Friday. Even if we are a Basilisk channel and we always cheer for the Basilisk players, obviously we like Nikita a lot. And that would just be a bit sad. That's shield battery overcharge was one for the ages. Most of the time you're happy if it runs for like 5 seconds, you know. If you have one Archon holding the line and it's there, or it saves an Immortal. But it was there for the entirety of the fight. And that really keeps Protoss units alive forever. Game 4 gets played on Amphion. And I know a lot of Zergs that are not very fond of this map. Could we go to the rubber match for the third time tonight? I'm still shocked that Jumi 3-0'd Battlebee, by the way. Like, out of all the series, that is not the one that I ever thought was going to be 3-0.
Round 4. Fight!
And if it was going to be a 3-0, I kind of thought it was going to be a Battlebee 3-0. So, I mean, very impressed by for Jumi. Great stuff by him. But obviously sad for Battlebee. Bottom left side of Amphion, guys, getting a point on the board against his old roommate. These two shared an apartment in Zoetermeer, the Netherlands, for a year and a half. And if you guys are wondering what the fuck is Zoetermeer, Roddy, it is a village somewhere near Den Haag. Or well, they consider it a city. I don't think it's a city. It's a mixture between a village and a city. This is SKillous. And this is his old roommate in the top left side of Amphion. Still up 2-1. Looked like he was going to close it out 3-0, but his opponent showed us a hold for the ages. Representing Basilisk, it is Reynor. So Den Haag is the Dutch way of saying a city that British people pronounce The Hague, which is near RotterdaM. So think of this. You've got Roddy here in Zuidland. Then you've got RotterdaM here. Then you've got Den Haag here. Then you've got Zoetermeer here. Think of it like a stairs. Zuidland at the bottom left. Zoetermeer in the top right. But neither Reynor or SKillous lives in Zoetermeer anymore. I did not watch the Kebab Cup spots, but I did see the result. I was aware of the result. But, I mean, I just saw Barrowby last Monday and he was so good. He was so freaking good. I apologize that Roddy did miss out on the Kebab Cup by Musti. I know some of you guys are going to question my passion right now. And if you want to start a Reddit thread, but is Roddy even dedicated to Starcraft 2 at this point after not watching the Kebab Cup organized by Musti? I get it. I probably deserve that, but I missed that one. I catch a lot of things, but I have missed the Kebab Cup. It happens to the best of us. I hope you can still look at me the same way, Spots. Reynor is gonna take this base as his third, so underneath his main. I feel like most of the time Zerg players end up taking this one. I guess if you take this as your third, do you then take this as your fourth base? I was in Amsterdam after a job interview in Hamburg. Fell asleep on the train on the way back to the airport hotel. You got woken up by a train dude almost in Rotterdam. I mean, to be fair, if you take the right train, Amsterdam to Rotterdam is like 48 minutes. So. That's not too bad, man. It's not like you're asleep for a day. The Netherlands is rather tiny. And our trains are maybe not as fast as the German trains or the French trains, but they're still pretty fast. Hello, Matty Ice. Your boy was talking about you earlier. Inexorable hit us with a very unique Terran build, and Reynor said this build has Matty Ice written all over it. Oracle into a Void Ray. Yes, the SKillous is not going to expand towards Reynor, he's going to expand away from him, and he is going to take the base on the low ground. Yeah, I'm never a very big fan of this late Void Ray stuff. Of course, it's going to keep the Zerg in the dark, and a Zerg like Reynor does like to have information, wants to have vision, and it is annoying if your overlords die, but I just think Void Rays are too expensive. You lose a lot of momentum, but so many high-level Protoss players do it, so it must be kind of good. But I also feel like MaxPax almost never does it. And if MaxPax doesn't do it, it's not good in my eyes. And we're popping off by. Yep. Zuidland is popping off, mate. My little village is growing so quick. I think we are a couple years away from having a Subway sandwich store, a Starbucks. It's gonna happen. We might actually get a real life physical Subway too, so we can take public transport to the city. Woo! I mean, we can, but we have to take a bus and then a metro. A straight up metro would obviously be a lot better. Well, SKillous finding a tiny bit of damage. I think the biggest thing he found so far was that Overlord, but he was not able to get the second Overlord. What did Reynor just kill there? What was the... Was it just a random animal? No, we have a McDonald's in Spikenissi. Spikenissi is like 10-15 minutes away from me. And we have a McDonald's close to the entrance of the highway. And I gotta say, it's a goated McDonald's. I know a lot of you guys think that all McDonald's are the same, but our McDonald's is different. It's very good. Always fresh. I have taken some of my favorite people around the planet to this very special McDonald's. Reynor is gonna go for a Spire once more. We saw Solar play Spire on this map against Showtime and he could not do it. SKillous this time, guys, is obviously not opening up double Robo into a late Twilight, so this is not the same scenario as Oceanborn at all. This can honestly become a very difficult game for Reynor. Even if you can of course say that Zealots with Charge are not fantastic against Mutalisk. But if Reynor is forced to defend with the Mutalisk, SKillous can buy some time for himself. Where is that Spire? That Spire goes up in the middle of all these bases. It has not been scouted yet. Could be Volgate, but the one at our place is goated, mate. Give it another chance. Forget about whatever random McDonald's you visited. The one in Spiken is top tier. The finest McDonald's that I've ever gone to. And I've gone to McDonald's in a lot of countries, but the one over here is the finest. Careful with your War Prism, SKillous. That is not one you want to lose. Seems like he knows, guys. I don't know how he knows, but he knows. SKillous is building his first Phoenix. Now we have learned obviously from Ocean. Okay, now he gets the confirmation. That's obviously big. He can start chrono boosting immediately, and that's exactly what he does. Is this the game where he does go for that second Stargate? Is this the game where he does go for that fleet beacon? Or will it just be a lot of Archons, Stalkers, Cannons, Batteries, and one Phoenix at a time? Yeah, he saw the gases here indeed. That is definitely a bit of a tell. So before seeing the Spire, SKillous saw gas number 7 and 8. And most of the time as a Zerg, you don't take that many gases that quickly. This time I want to say we are more ready. Zerglings run into a stasis trap. Reynor looked damn good with the Muta, as Zocke would call them back in the days. On Oceanborn, once more, very different scenario. Different starting setup. We've got some battery here, got a couple Phoenix. Blink is done, +2 is on the way. You know, Afarazit, I kind of like Burger King, but every single time I go to Burger King, I'm always a tiny bit disappointed in the end. Where I'm like, wasn't quite as good as I was hoping it to be. But I'm always excited to try it again. Honestly, I think McDonald's is superior. War Prism got picked off, but SKillous did leave a bunch of Zealots behind in the top right side. He's getting the second Stargate this time. That's a little bit later. The focus first was on Cannons, Batteries, as the Reynor is now mining out these mineral patches. But I want to say with the Battery Overcharge here, we can fight. SKillous, I would think Rico is not a bad idea. He is going to use Battery Overcharge. That Archon dies. Can the Mutas and the Roaches get on top of it? Oh, move your Adept! The Adept is on hold position, guys. The Adept is on hold position. Yeah, the Adept actually worked in favor of Reynor. Took such a long time for these extra Protoss units to show up, so 20 workers died, but SKillous does have 4 bases. You can rebuild 20 workers rather quickly. I would say it's a good attack by Reynor, but obviously very, very expensive. Okay, if he finds these 2 Phoenixes as well and gets something done here, now that's good. You can see Reynor immediately targeting Stargaters that are not quite done warping in yet. Because there's no shield battery to save them, and of course you can't move them, and they've got no armor. So those are always the targets you want to go for. SKillous says, alright, that's enough. I am not going to play that game where I have to defend forever. Now a Void Ray is running away from the Mutas. This game is nuts. Are we going to see a Game 5 in this edition of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts? Or will it be Reynor who's going to close it out here? Reynor is up in supply, but it's just Muta Ling. Lurkers? Sure. Eventually. One day. But not yet. I don't know, man. I don't know if the Mutas are going to cut it here. I think I like it for SKillous. 65 workers against 75 drones. Lynx don't have adrenal glands yet. Stasis Trappy is going to buy some time. We had a battery overcharge there. It's a lot of Zerglings with +2 melee, but there is so little surface area for these Zerglings. Mutas are going to try to help out. That one Phoenix is putting in some good work in the back. Here come the Archons. Maybe Warper is in play. I think sometimes it's absolutely worth it to just pick up a Archon. SKillous is not going to do this, so he ends up losing 11 workers. I still think it is acceptable. Because Reynor is losing a crazy amount of expensive units. The Muta count is low. Phoenix count is at 3. This is not a pleasant fight. We don't have a fleet beacon, I believe. No, but we did have 2 Stargates. Now we got 1. Muta's gonna disengage from the Stalkerinos. Reynor setting up another attack, but it's just a Zerglings. Triple cannon and a battery here. Is Coco's second overcharge ready? Of course it's ready. SKillous doesn't want to use it. Initial Muta flock pretty much dead, guys. So now Reynor is going to try to transition into Lurkers. We have Hive Tech. We've got Seismic Spines finishing up as he fires up Adrenal Glands as well. Exciting game 4. Perhaps the SKillous should have kept on attacking, guys. After killing this base, would it have been possible to keep on attacking and take out this base as well? I think at this point SKillous is not quite aware of the fact that Reynor is making a tech transition. But I do think, in a weird way, it's somewhat obvious. By the way, these these Phoenixes can become useful. Don't forget that if Reynor spends all his money on Hydras that he all morphs into Lurkers and he's playing Lurker Link, Phoenixes can actually lift a bunch of these Lurkers. That's really not that silly. And yes, I really want to talk about a Dark Shrine for Phoenix DT, but I can't do that. Reynor actually not paying attention this time. Clicks in a couple of Zerglings, loses a lot of them for free. I think a Dark Shrine would be kind of goated here. Not gonna lie. Where are the observers? We've got 2 of them. One over here on the left side and one over here in the center. That's obviously pretty good. Perhaps Reynor should have had an Overseer earlier with his Mutalisk. The thing is, I actually really see value in these 6 Phoenix. These Phoenixes are not just there to deal with Mutalists. They can absolutely lift a couple of Lurkers too. Mutas are going to show up and get on top of the 5th base. I'm very happy that this series is living up to what you guys expect from a Friday night best of 5 main event. I know not every main event is always a banger, but I think this has been some very high level Starcraft between 2 of the very best players on this planet. All these Mutalists are going to get picked up, so at this point it is just Lurkers. SKillous is going to get on top of the Hydra then. Does Reynor have units nearby? I don't think so. I think they could have gone for the Hydra then. Instead all the Zealots go for the Queen and then for the drones. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Is Reynor in trouble here in game 4? Lurkers are 16 of them in total. Obviously 16 Lurkers, incredibly good against 10 Archons and 16 Stalkers. Phoenix count is down to 4. Oh man. Oh no, the Lurkers are a little bit too deep. The Lurkers by themselves go a little bit too deep, and SKillous finds a couple of them immediately as he leaves some units behind on the high ground. I don't know about this though. I don't know if you should walk into that. Lurkers around the edge. Yeah, that's not the fight for Archons and Stalkers. SKillous does not get the base. It does not seem that he knows about this. I mean, it should be very easy for SKillous to warp in a couple of units and click them here. But I guess nothing is ever easy against Reynor. But carry is on the way. Reynor seems to already be thinking about that as Reynor fires up a couple of Corruptors. These Zerglings have Adrenal Glands, have +2 melee as they go for the pylon immediately. Smart choice. Fight in the center of the map. Zerglings trying to go for a bit of surround, but it seems like the Archons with +3 melted those Zerglings. +3 Archons one-shot Zerglings, right? Without Carapace upgrades. Reynor forgets about 6 Lurkers. Uh-oh. Reynor bleeding out a lot of incredibly expensive units right now. Because he does have a bunch of lurkers on the left, but he lost most of his lurkers in the center. We had over 17 at one point. We already lost 11. And I feel that nothing is going to get the job done here. We're going to game 5, guys. For the 3rd time tonight. We are going to game 5. Observer is going to reveal a couple of the creep tumors. I know that Reynor is not particularly a massive fan of this map. And this is just going to fuel some of those frustrations. This is a sick run by as he gets 14 workers very quickly. But everywhere we look, there are Archons. There are 10 big blue balloons on the map right now. And it is so difficult for Reynor's army to fight it. Banelings? I didn't even know we had a Baneling nest. We have no Baneling speed, just 2 Banelings, guys. 16 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. We've got 2 Banelings. Unexpected Bane. It's not gonna go very well, I'm afraid. Well, I'm glad I caught that. SKillous blinks forward with a single stalker. Obviously, this has been such a hectic game that it's hard for him to figure out how rich Reynor is, but I'm sure that he's got an idea that he has him almost right where he wants. But on the other hand, everywhere he looks, he still sees terrifying units. More Zerglings with Adrenal glands, more lurkers. 21 lurkers now, by the way. But it is hard to get them in the right place against these Protoss armies that just rotate from the center back to the left side. As a time warp goes down, storms go down, and we go to game 5. We go to game 5 for the 3rd time tonight. Aye. And it doesn't really matter how it's gonna go. It is safe to say that SKillous is putting up a much better fight than he did on the Monday night. I think he left it all on the battlefield on Golden Aura against Max Pax. Battleby took him to the limit on Oceanborn. It is fun to see a much more competitive series between these two. It can be Alcyone. We already played this. It cannot be Alcyone. If I have to guess, I think Golden Aura vetoed, Crimson Court vetoed, Post Youth vetoed. What is it then? What have we not seen yet, guys? Side Delta? I think Sight. Yeah, that is the one that made sense to me. Can we have a match sometime where the players explicitly stream cheat? That would probably be fun. The funny thing is, mate, that on this level, stream cheating would do incredibly little. Because even if I use the low latency mode, there is still a tiny bit of a delay between me saying hello, Kleiner Mozart, and you actually hearing me. And with how fast these guys play, those 2 seconds, they mean a lot. Now, of course, sometimes you can find a proxy, you can see a tech choice, etc. But, you know, if they are aware that that is happening on both sides, it just all comes down to execution. And the game is actually too fast to get any benefit out of cheating. It's just, it comes down to execution. You're gonna have to go for good surrounds, good engagements, great micro, great macro. You have no time to take a look at something that is 2-3 seconds in the past. I think the lower the level, the more impactful cheating can be. At the absolute highest level, like why do you think players like Gabe and Clem always stream their tournament runs with 0 delay? Because they don't care. Who wants to cheat? Good luck outplaying them. You know, what are you gonna do? The top players are all good friends of each other, pretty much. I really don't think there are many situations where players don't get along, so they don't worry about that. But B, it's just not that impactful.
Final round. Fight!
Final round, guys. This man has sent us to the rubber match, playing one hell of a best of 5, and that makes me so happy because he does deserve it. Representing Team Liquid on Sunday 4 PM. You guys can see him over here on this channel or on Waddy's channel or Cranky Ducklings or Steadfast or Harstem play a best of 2 against Maru. And I think that's going to be a banger of a series. But first, he's going to try to win a very meaningful best of 5 to him and walk away with $150. This is SKillous. In the bottom right side of site Delta, we are looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion representing Basilisk. Was off to a flying start here in the main event. Game 3 didn't really go his way. In Game 4 he fell for the Mutas, and the Mutas were not good enough to bring it home. Can we turn things around on site Delta? I think a map that suits him a bit better. This is Reynor. But that's really what it is. And of course, there will be a tiny moments here and there where, let's say we organize a fun match where we turn off Fog of War. That of course they'll be checking, you know, because instead of scouting, you can now see it for free. But it wouldn't change that much. I can play 20 games in a row against Clem with map hack, and I'm still going to lose all 20. It's just, there is no universe where I can execute better than Clem. Even if I can see what he's doing, he is just gonna, in a safe way, figure out what I'm doing, and he's gonna beat me. On like in PvP, I would say it's a bit more impactful for sure. If it was PvP, but like in PvT, I don't think it would matter at all. I would get murdered by Clem any day of the week. Clem can just go for a certain build where it comes down pure to mechanics, and he's always gonna beat me. But it's okay, guys. Let's focus on Game 5. More fun. TLDRs, it's not something that I'm incredibly interested in running at, but maybe one day, guys. If we ever get tired of running normal Starcraft events, we can always think outside of the box, and we can try to be creative and come up with gimmicky rules. But I really appreciate the suggestion. I think it's always fun when you guys have ideas. Basilisk has told me a long time ago, if I have good ideas of stuff that I want to do, I can always do it. It's just, maybe I'm a little bit boring in that regard, but I just like normal competitive Starcraft, and it can be different levels. That's why I try to invite lower ranked players, try to invite low 5k players. But I don't think we need to do too many crazy things to StarCraft. Stalker is gonna pick off one of the first overlords, but Reynor, his Zerglings are here, but there's nothing that Reynor can really do about it. One Zergling, though, will be able to sneak into the main base. I mean, it's a tiny bit of a scout. Gonna be able to, I would say, maybe see that there is a second Oracle on the way. The most meaningful thing that Reynor could have seen, he has not seen yet. Perhaps besides the fact that there is a third Nexus on the way. Yeah. 2 oracles, and as soon as that Zergling got picked off, we immediately see SKillous drop a couple of additional gates and a Twilight Council. Reynor has a few Spore Crawlers on the way. Reynor, his Queen movement in the first 2 games was picture perfect. Goblin says, oh yes, go to build. I know, Tech Rock, and honestly, mate, I wish that you guys could do it, and I hope that that day will come soon. The only thing I can say is the same thing that I've said for a long time. If you guys do !Discord, you guys can join the Basilisk Discord and let them know. If you just keep on letting them know that you guys want Basilisk merch in a shop, there is a good chance that you're gonna get it sooner than if nobody lets them know. But I also wish that you guys had the opportunity to pick up a polo like Roddy. I actually really like the other sweatshirts, but it's just been a bit too hot for that lately. Yeah, the black shirts with my name on the back, I love those shirts. And even though some people, I had one guy from ESL talk to me in Dallas. He's like, "Oh, you've got your name on the back. That's so old school." I was like, well, first of all, I am, and second of all, I like it. Why are you hating? You want the blanket? We can make that happen, Heaven. I think we can eventually set up a match. And you can fight for a blanket. So far, the initial set of adepts not getting a crazy amount done. And the follow-up, guys, is Resonating Glaive Adept. It is incredibly important for SKillous that he starts finding a little bit more. Because I do feel that he's going to be a bit committed. Oh, one Oracle is in danger. One Oracle gets picked off. That is a big, big pick-off for Reynor. As the second Oracle is going to fly past the other 2 Queens. Reynor may not get it. That's a lot of adepts though. Even though Reynor has already killed 5 adepts, we have 12 additional adepts. A shading to the other side of the map. Reynor goes for a wall off. Wall off can buy time, but we need roaches. We don't have roach speed on the way yet. Even though the lair is done, guys. This is gonna be annoying. This is going to be very, very annoying. A couple of drones were stuck on the wrong side of the wall as the adepts are working on that Evo chamber. Reynor, by the way, already droning right now, and he's dropping a spire. I hear a stasis trappy. Reynor sees it. Can he activate it? Somehow it just doesn't get activated by anything. I actually think we never had to activate that stasis trap. Pretty good defense against the adepts, guys. It is important that Reynor does not forget about her roach speed. Because he did make a decent amount of roaches. He's going to fire it up now. Just prioritize the spire once more. And this time it does seem like SKillous wants to go for an all-out attack. Maybe with Immortals, Sentries, and a crazy amount of Resonating Glaive Adepts. He's got 2 Immortals. He's already here. Will that spire be done in time? Reynor needs Ravages. Oh my god, he makes 10 more drones! Reynor made 10 more drones. That is problematic because Reynor needs units. Reynor needs Ravagers. Now he did still have a lot of leftover units, and Queens are good in buying time, but the Adepts are going to shade into the main base, into the natural. Spire 85-90% done. There is barely any anti-air. How good are these Queens? It all comes down to this. The SKillous is sitting on a lot of money. He's going to try to spend it. I think there are still some Adepts somewhere in the pocket expand. 12 more roaches on the way, but the Ravagers are gone, and if the Ravagers are gone, the Immortals are a problem. Where is that Spire? That Spire is done. Are we gonna get any Mutas? Seems like the answer is no. We have no money for it. The roach speed, guys. The roach speed. Oh, that is big. Reynor is gonna be forced to defend this with slow roaches. Uh-oh. Is it SKillous, guys, with the reverse sweep in the main event of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts? We've got a Spire, but we have a slow roaches. That is so many Adepts. I mean, how many Ravages do we have? 4. 4 Mutas on the way. Can Reynor hold this? He's up in supply. But he's got slow roaches. Oh my god, SKillous is making so many Adepts, guys. And now the Mutas are going to show up, and I think the War Prism is going to die almost immediately. Does Reynor have any spines here? No. Oh my god, what is this game? What is this ending? BASILISK Big Brain Bouts number 66 is one for the history books. As SKillous kills the 3rd base, there is barely any anti-air. What have we got? We got 2 sentries and a stalker. Reynor goes for the War Prism first. SKillous queues up. Blink. The Adept Shade is gonna finish up. Corrosive Balls are gonna connect. It's so many Adepts, but Reynor's supply is climbing very, very rapidly. He has rebuilt the Roach Warren somewhere. He's only lost 4 drones so far. Obviously, we're gonna lose more drones. That is inevitable. But how many more? Muta count right now at 7, and that means that these Immortals will fall. Is Reynor pulling off a hold? SKillous had an absolutely legendary hold over in Alcyone. This hold is not any less impressive, even though we've got so many Adepts that are still alive. And those Adepts are gonna gun down the Spire. So Reynor is left as a 3.5 base Zerg, down 6 workers, with 7 Mutalisk and 23 Roaches, but he still does not have Roach speed. What? But now we can find some damage, right? Hey, 7 Mutas, the magical number to one-shot as SKillous warps in 4 Stalkers underneath these Mutas. We're next to Battery Overcharge and 1 Phoenix. 1 Phoenix is doing its best. 2nd Phoenix is out. That's going to make SKillous' life defensively a bit more doable. As we have 3 Adepts, guys, is sneaking into this bottom base. We have 2 Adepts sneaking into the natural as well. There are just counterattacks here, there, and everywhere. And just when Reynor built 10 more workers, he's going to lose a few more workers. I love this little counter by SKillous. Of course, you're going to lose these Adepts, but you pull the Mutas back, you buy time for yourself, and you pick off 14 workers there. That is big. It is 3 base against 4, but SKillous is up in workers. What do I hear? What did I hear? Something was dying. I don't know, it sounded like a Stalker? A random Immortal, okay. A random Immortal was misrallied. I didn't see it, but I heard it. SKillous has blink as he's moving out. Reynor does have road speed at this point as the Mutalisks go for a counterattack, and he is going to pick off a few workers, but it seems like we need all our units at home. Reynor up in supply. SKillous' army, guys, is not mega powerful. It's a bit of a jack of all trades army, a couple blink stalkers, 0-0, a couple of adepts, but immortal, no war prism. War Prism is on the way. 2 more adepts are going to shade into the natural. Reynor's going to answer for those without losing too much. Reynor jumps on his army immediately. I think the Mutas would be very, very useful here. If you pick up that Prism, Ravagers go for the Prism from downtown. They kind of get it, but not that quick. That is a lot of extra Stalkers that got warped in. Where are these extra Zerglings? Here are these Zerglings. We are on creep. It is still Reynor, isn't it? Oh, man. What a series. What a series. Obviously not over yet, but Reynor pulls off another hold. And now we are looking at high-tech Reynor with Adrenal Glands, with +1 melee. And as a 3-base Protoss, that is terrifying. Whew. What a game. Main event of the Big Brain Bouts, number 66. $150 on the line for the winner. 50 for the loser, provided by Basilisk. It is. It's still close in a way, but it kind of feels that Reynor is about to become a whole lot more powerful, and SKillous is going to have more of the same. Maybe a 4th base, maybe Storm, maybe +2. I don't know. I don't think Reynor is going to give him that much time. It's going to be so difficult for SKillous to hold away from cannons and hold away from batteries, because Adrenal Glands is massive. 30 Banelings with speed, by the way, on the way. The Mutalisks show up in the main base. They are in low numbers, but they still keep the Protoss busy. Reynor at the bare minimum gets a cancel, but Reynor wants more. We do have Archons in the mix. That's a lot of Banelings rolling forward, and I think they should just go for it there. Connect with all those Stalkers, connect with those Archons, leave those Archons by themselves. And eventually the Protoss army cannot run anymore. It has to fight, but how much is left over to fight? I'm afraid not that much, but there is Shield Battery overcharge. We still have a couple of Blink Stalkers. Reynor is going in mega deep. Feels that this is his moment. Adrenal Glands is online. We've got 23 Zerglings on the map, and it is Reynor who wins a nail-biting, very high level best of 5 on the Friday evening. Holy smokes, what a game. What a hold. Multiple times. Very impressive. Very, very impressive by Reynor. 3-2. Played incredibly well. SKillous was so close. Almost had him. Wow. 6-0. Great series. Kudos to both. It obviously takes 2 to tango. Shout out to SKillous for playing, and congrats with the 50 buckies, and obviously putting up a much, much better fight than he did on Monday. And that is what it was all about. I think on Monday the man was just very tired after those training games he had. So I wanted to give him a chance to show a better side of his PvZ. And I think it's safe to say that was really good by SKillous. Even if it wasn't enough, it was really good. GG's, guys. Have a great evening. That is going to do it. I had a lot of fun. We've been live for 9 hours and 50 minutes. Thank you so much to Basilisk for gifting 10 more subbies. That will be it for another edition of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. Shout out to the 4 winners. We had Inexorable making his debut. We had Heaven winning his best of 5. We, of course, had 4 Jumis showing up in a very strong and powerful manner against Battlebee. And then we had Reynor and SKillous playing for the big bucks. Awesome stuff. 3 out of 4 series went to distance. 3-2, 3-2, 3-0, 3-2. I think that goes to show that this was a pretty successful evening. Solid job with the matchmaking this week. Still got it. Some of you guys are saying interview time. I don't know if Reynor would be down for that. And honestly, guys, I had a mega long day. But if Reynor wants to yap a little, I will let him yap a little. I assume that he's here because Reynor often is here after series. So, you know what, guys? I'm going to take a tiny break and I'll leave it up to Reynor. If Reynor wants to do a tiny chat, we're going to do a tiny chat. If Reynor doesn't want to do it, that's going to be the end of me. I might be back in a couple hours from now to watch that Stormgate tournament over at Tasteless's channel, guys. Once more, you guys, I already showed the Twitter. If you guys want to know, Tasteless TV. This is Nick, his Twitch channel, and he's going to do his Stormgate event here in a couple of hours. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do my best to co-stream it. But obviously, I am only human. We were live for 9 hours and 51 minutes. And that is pretty much what I've averaged for like 3 weeks straight. So, don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna do my best. It starts like 3:30 a.m. Joas for Central Europeans. Yeah, I believe it's 10:30 a.m. Saturday morning for the Koreans, which is like 3:30 a.m. Central European time. And I guess 9:30 for East Coast and 6:30 p.m. on the West Coast. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we will see. I'll give it a couple of minutes. Be right back. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them my way. Make sure, if you guys want to make me happy, if you guys like Battle Oasis, please follow my Battle Oasis YouTube. You guys make me happy. You guys make Vicky happy. We got 9, but I think we can do better than that. We have uploaded a couple of cool videos. We've got a few more cool series coming. So I would really appreciate it. If you like Battle Oasis, give it a follow. Follows are free. And even if you don't like it, guys, what do I ever ask from you? No donation bars, no bid bars, no sub goals. Give the man a subscription on YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything. If you don't want to do it for me, do it for Vicky. She's a great lady. I'll be right back, guys. See you in a couple of minutes. We'll see if Reynor wants to chitty chat, and if not, it is what it is. I'll be right back. And subscribe to SKillous' YouTube. If you guys just like Starcraft, you know what, Nikita? Well deserved, mate. That was a banger series. If you guys say, Roddy, by the way, sounds fun and all, but I just like StarCraft, SKillous has been posting a lot of videos. This is SKillous' YouTube channel. I'll post the link in the chat. Sorry, SKillous, you're not a VIP. You can't post links, but I can. He's been posting a very decent amount. I believe a new video is in the making. So, if you guys just want StarCraft content, give Nikita a follow, because he just battled his heart out. I think it was a good series. See you guys in a bit. The man wants to yap. If he wants to yap, we're gonna give him a platform to yap. I'm a simple man.
Hello, hello.
Hello, matey. How are we doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing good. I saw you had no camera during WTL. Is there no camera today?
Yeah, I have my camera at my parents' house still. I don't think I picked it up yet.
Okay. And you playing from the grandma house?
Yeah. I've been here for a while now.
All right, guys. So no camera, but we can still hear the man. How are we feeling after that best of 5?
Yeah, feeling good. I think I was playing very well the first 2 games. And then I kind of trolled game 3 by going for that queen walk. I really was feeling it was not going to work, but I was like, it's game 3. I'm up 2-0. I might do it. And then I played Amphion. I'm not quite sure how to play that map. Like, I have a couple of things for that map, but obviously I didn't want to show them. So I said, mass muta worked. Let's go for it again. And it didn't work. So.
I mean, it was an incredibly good holdout by SKillous on El Cyane because it looked like you had a crazy amount of units.
Yeah, I think if I sniped the battery, because I thought the battery would be killed by the links, but it just took on forever.
Yeah, there were all the batteries as well, and obviously all the batteries can heal the links, and there was only like 40% surface area, I think, for the Zerg links, so then it takes a long time.
Yeah. I messed up the fight, but I don't think that Queen Walk was ever gonna work. Like I wasn't planning on it. I decided to do it like at the very end, but I had too little gas, so I just didn't have enough units.
A few days ago, you were watching Solar play mutas on Amphion, and you said, I think mutas are bait, not good. You decided to go for mutas anyway.
I stand by it. I think Protoss has to fuck up quite a bit in order for mutas to win nowadays. Because it doesn't really matter how many probes you kill unless you actually kill the toss. Because like as long as they have a massive army, and this continually happens with mutas. I kill probes, but it doesn't. I had a game against MaxBox where I killed 85 probes with mutas and Bailings, and he A-moved me out of 200 supply with Immortals and Storm. Anyways.
And do you think there was a world where the Lurkers could have done it, or is that just impossible?
On Amphion?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but I hated that game. I wanted to get out of it. I was hating it with a passion because my bases were weird, and then I don't know. I was just hating everything about the game, so I was like mentally tapped out of it already a little bit.
And Game 5 got mega close because technically we were not totally ready, but you had incredibly good defense initially. But then the second wave, don't you ever listen to Coco, mate? Coco always talks about the second wave.
That build is so bad. I droned up because I was like, okay, I didn't really take much damage. I can drone up a little bit. And then I get my queen's force fielded and nothing else was there. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then like all of a sudden 50 adepts show up. But I don't think that build is particularly good. I think if my queens don't get force fielded, I hold anyways. Like even without all of that mess.
And what did you think of the Roach Warren getting sniped when Roach speed was like 85% done?
I was not happy about that for sure. I was not happy, but I saw he warped in another round of adepts, and I was like, okay, if I make Mutas and snipe the prism here, I win actually.
He didn't have a lot of NTR, but he did have like 2 stalkers, a sentry, and your muta count initially was very tiny. Were you worried that maybe the mutas wouldn't do it?
I was scared for sure. If I don't snipe the prism, I don't think I can win.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I really need to snipe this prism. I think it was 2 sentries and 1 stalker.
Yeah, it was not much, but it was also not like 12 mutas showed up. You know, it was like
Yeah, it
3
was 4
mutas. They
mutas.
were going for it, man. They put in work trying to get that prism. Oh, it was a sick game. Did you, after that like big hold the second time, is that when you started to feel confident? Because you obviously lost the Spire as well. So you lost the Roach Warren without the Roach Speed. Then you lose the Spire. You lost the Triangle base. It's kind of awkward. Huh?
I knew the game was over when I went over with the mutas to his base because he had nothing. I was like, okay, he just started mining gas again. His tech sucks. He has like a bunch of adepts and like some stalkers and a phoenix. And there I was like, okay, this is good for me. Because I was expecting like 3-4 phoenixes, archons on the other side of the map. But no, yeah, that's when I knew. Otherwise, I wasn't really confident in my position.
And the fight in the center towards the end, when he had all the Blink Stalkers, a bunch of Adepts, and a single Immortal, and obviously the Prism once more, you're always confident you're going to win that one?
Yeah, his army was proper crap. Maybe I was a little bit too confident. I could also just wait for Bailings and crush him, but I saw his army, I was like, okay, can I move this? I just went for it.
Bang is serious. I think it's safe to say that he gave you a better run for your money than on the Monday night.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
He played well. But overall, happy with the performance.
Well. I saw Nikita was balance whining after the game.
Where?
On your chat.
Really?
They said 3-2 against Zerg is the best you can hope for nowadays.
Yeah, okay, I missed that one. I was AFK. So he's
balance whining. Astos in 2024 is crazy work, honestly. Crazy work.
We fearing the 4 Protosses that are going to the Esports World Cup then?
Fearing no one. I have good stuff for World Championship.
All right. I love it. Okay. Anything else you want to share with the people that are still here, mate?
Not really. I'm a little bit sad I didn't get to showcase my monstrous late game. Otherwise, probably gonna happen at the World Championship. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Rotti, for inviting me. Bangers as always. And yeah, shout out to Basilisk.
Yeah, we had a couple of good series, huh?
Yeah, especially the Jumi Battleby one, the third game. That was my favorite. I loved it. 2 probes casually winning the game.
No, oh,
That's
poor
so
Battleby. I feel
That's
like we
so
need.
bad.
I need to give Battleby a rematch, like eventually, not next week or something. But no man deserves to lose to 2 workers being sent to the other side of the map. He deserves the shot at redemption.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think Battleby is better than what is showcased today.
Yeah. Out of all the series, for that to be a 3-0, and then also in favor of Jumi. I mean, I know that Jumi did win the Kebab Cup 3-1. I got a hard time.
The hell is the Kebab Cup?
Yeah, I got flamed for not watching the Kebab Cup organized by Musti. Even the old man misses a tournament every now and then, but in that one, Jumi did win 3-1 as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was ready to go all in on Battleby, honestly. I think didn't he just beat Showtime in the weekly as well?
2-0, and then he had a 44-minute banger on Oceanborn against Nikita. That was actually insane.
Yeah, I think maybe Jumi is just better.
Yeah,
than both of those
sometimes
two.
it's a stylistic thing as well, right? Or maybe a bit of a mental block against someone from the same country where you feel like you should beat him and it just doesn't go your way. I don't know. Starcraft is a mysterious game like that. Overall, we're feeling pumped, mate. We're ready for the trip.
Yeah, very. I've been practicing my ass off, and I think you can see it in the gameplay as well that I've been showcasing lately. I always tell the people, you can always see how much I play by the creep usually, especially in ZVT. You can always tell if the creep is good, then I'm playing a lot. But no, I'm really excited. Reigning champion in Riyadh, so gotta take the trophy again.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I can't wait. We have a couple of other exciting things until then. I'm very excited for Sunday, man. Like Team Liquid against Vitality. What are your thoughts?
We pray to Liquid Clam. That's all
And
we have to do.
Skillous.
And Skillous and Cure. I mean,
Yeah.
Liquid has a solid lineup,
Yeah,
but so does Vitality. It's a banger.
Yeah, it's actually a banger. It's nice for the guys from WTL that it finally works out where they have a really great match at the end of the season and it matters. Because I feel like before they tried that and they ended up with Roddy versus Crank, which I don't think they were mega thrilled over. They're like, all right, this is it. Zero Maru for all the marbles. Like, actually, it doesn't matter. So let's do Roddy Crank. But yeah, I think that's going to be cool.
That was a good match on New Humanity as well, I remember.
Yeah, we still got it, mate. All right, have a great evening. Enjoy your weekend, mate, and I'm sure we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye, mate. All right, guys, that was the champ. The man is ready. Good series, really fun evening. I had a great time. I think you guys had a great time. I know some of you guys wonder, like, oh, should I ask him about Stormgate? But Reynor has already answered this, that he will absolutely take a look at it after the Esports World Cup, but he is not interested in playing a different game right before the Esports World Cup. Eye on the prize, biggest Starcraft tournament in history. The time that Reynor plays Stormgate, Battle Aces, Tempest Rising, I'm sure it will come, but this is not the time. So it's silly to ask him because I know what he's going to say. He's just going to say that it's only Starcraft for now. Alright, guys. That is it. That is going to do it. I am going to take a little look at who is live and see if I can send you guys over. Ideally, I had originally I had a plan where I was like, I'm going to stay live all night and then I'm going to watch the Tasteless tournament. But when I woke up, I was actually, Kevin, you're an idiot. You cannot do that. I cannot stream right now for another 5 hours until the Tasteless tournament starts. That's just, I'm not going to make that. And even if I do make that, A, it's going to be a bad stream, and B, then I won't enjoy the viewing party either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some food, relax, hang out with Vicky. I'll send you guys over to someone, and I'm going to do my absolute best, but it's not a promise, but I'm going to do my absolute best to be back online in 5 hours and do co-streaming for the Tasteless tourney. We will see. Can we do it? I don't know. The haters said all the haters said I couldn't do it, and it may be a very good call by the haters, but we'll see, guys. No promises, but I'll do my best. I see that my boy Wingant is live. Even before you guys were suggesting that I should host Wingant, I already had his stream open. Wingant is a young German Protoss player from Germany, obviously. Well, then again, not every German is from Germany. But he's still living in Germany. He's my friend. He is incredibly excited over Stormgate, and he's dreaming of making it big. So I'm going to go ahead and send you guys over to my German amigo, Wingant. I hope you guys have fun. Be nice to him. He's a great kid. He's already been going, by the way, for 4 hours. So he did miss the entire Big Brain Bouts. I'm a little upset over that, but we'll let it slide. Great night, great games. Thanks to all 8 gamers. Thanks to BASILISK. Couldn't do it without them. And I did my best, guys. I did my best. I think it was a long and fun day. We won 6-0 in WTL. Bangers in the BBB. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Bye-bye.